retaining the Ashes, great. I mean, would you rather done it in a heroic deed on the field?
But I think, obviously today's been a bit of a strange day, but I think if you actually look over the last 14 days, I think that's how you've got to look at it. And obviously, if you'd have said 14 days ago to me, you'd be sitting here, it might have rained the last day, but you'd retain the Ashes after 3 games, I'd have snapped your hand off. So, obviously the dressing room's a pretty happy place at the moment. We played some pretty good cricket, and be 2-0 up with 2 to play is a pretty good place to be.
Now, go on and win the series emphatically, I guess.
Well, that's obviously the first objective was to retain the Ashes, and now we want to go and win them. I think it's shown this Test match how competitive Australia are, and we played very well at Lords, and they played very well here. But we showed a lot of fighting character to get through this game, and we need to up our levels a little bit at that.
Talk about the toss a bit, Alistair. It seemed to be important here, I guess. Was it important in the first 2 matches when England won it as well?
Well, I think definitely in this game was the biggest advantage of batting first. I think in the other games we were 30 for 3, and the ball swung around both times. So it's we were doing what we wanted to do. There's probably an argument at Trent Bridge that you could have bowled first with that overhead conditions for that first day, and obviously later in the game it spun a bit. So we had what we wanted to do the first 2 games, and obviously here Australia got the opportunity and they made the most of it.
Yeah, and you mentioned 30 for 3. England have been 30 for 3 times now. I think 60 for 3 on another occasion. A bit of a concern just about that.
Yeah, I think that's certainly an area we can improve on. Obviously these batches of ball seem to do quite a lot early on and then settle down a little bit more like the Kookaburra ball in Australia. Getting through that first session, and then it turns out to be quite nice for batting. I think both sides have found it quite hard at the top of the order from that. So it's something which we know if we can get through that as a side, there's a big score to get.
Alistair, just about every match this series has seen both sides not only having DRS decisions going against them, but often being perplexed almost as to why they've gone against them. Are you sort of happy with how this system is being implemented? Are you confident you know how it's being implemented, so that when you challenge, you've got some basis for what you're doing?
Look, I think both sides have been, especially in this game, quite confused with some of the decisions which have occurred. Again, in practice, DRS has worked really well. Every time I've, apart from this series, it's, I don't know whether it's just because of the Ashes it's throwing, including gods have thrown up some slightly inconclusive evidence, but it is there to make more decisions right, and that's what it's got to be there for. We're just a little bit confused at the moment why certain decisions have been overturned and certain decisions haven't been overturned. I don't think that's just with an England cap on. I think both sides would be feeling that. So I think it's pretty even in terms of some of the decisions that have gone against certain players from both teams at certain times. So we are a little bit confused with it, but hopefully we can iron the ICC can iron them out, and we can get back to what it's designed for, which is making more decisions correct, and that decisions are making less of an impact on the games.
Play started quite probably earlier than most people would have expected, bearing in mind the rain and so on. But there was some suggestion that maybe some of the players caught out a little bit at the hotel rather longer than they might have been. Can you just clarify that?
Look, it's obviously a bit of a strange morning with the amount of rain which was forecast, and then it didn't deliver. Actually all the important people in terms of the guys in the top 4 or 5 were here in plenty of time. I don't think we're certainly not going to put that down to why we're 30 for 3. I think you could give Australia some credit. They bowled very well in this game, and in that first 20 overs, obviously I thought it was a fantastic cricket wicket for a Test match. It started flat and then gradually deteriorated as the game went on. I think it was a very good cricket wicket, but I don't think that was the reason why we're 33.
So the top order batsmen came as a sort of advanced party, if you like, to do their normal preparation.
Yeah, it's personal preference. Some people like to get a lot of balls before, but I know there's people hitting balls at 9:30 this morning, so that or 10 o'clock. Sorry, so it wasn't. That wasn't the reason.
Alistair, you set the weather aside at lunchtime. Were you still confident you could bat it out, or were you starting to get a bit twitchy?
Yeah, obviously it wasn't the ideal first hour and a half. you know, we knew that the first 3 hours would be crucial, where that ball was harder. And I think both sides have found in this test match, once it gets a little bit softer, the movement would be slightly less. But you know, we found ourselves in situations like this over the last couple of years. You know, our last test match in New Zealand, when Matt Pryor batted fantastically well. Nagpur, where the whole side batted pretty much 150 overs, and we only lost 3 wickets. So we knew we had the experience and past success to get it, and we knew how we wanted to go about it. It's just whether we would have done, I don't know.
Alistair, can you just clear up your own sort of fitness suggestion on Friday night? I think that you had a back problem when you were batting and taking some pills, and then someone else said that you might have a stomach upset of it, and you sound a bit croaky now. Are you kind of 100% in yourself? And
I didn't realise I was croaky. Yeah, look, I had a bit of a back issue on that evening. Yeah, my back's never been the greatest back, but you know, it sometimes flares up, and it just flared up when I play.
there's no sort of long-term problems.
Alistair, now you've got the Ashes retained, is it important now that you don't let Australia have an opportunity to get their confidence up, given you've got another series coming up, so to speak?
Yeah, I think you know, obviously that'll be the goal was obviously to retain the Ashes, the first objective. The next one we want to go and win them, and then that's all we can look for. I don't think we've made a bit of a conscious effort not to try and put the two series together, make them very separate identities, and that was how we looked at it. When we get to Australia, we'll concentrate on trying to retain them and win them down in Australia. So we've got to go to Durham now and try and win these Ashes or at the Oval, and that is the ultimate goal. We can't worry too much about what's going to happen in this game until what's going to happen 6 months down the line.
Do you know if Ian Bell thought you were all right?
Yeah, no, it seems okay.
Last couple.
Can you say something about Kevin Peterson's contribution? He came into the match with a bit of an injury worry, and yet he's produced the goods on the big stage again.
Yeah, look, it's you know, I think he's now become England's leading run scorer in all cricket, and I think that's a great great honour to have. I think as a player, and a great achievement. He's a mighty fine player, you know, a great player. I think you can put in that category now, and great players stand up at certain times when you really need them, and that innings he played was a great innings.
Can
you do you get the sense that having achieved the retention of the Ashes here, and we talked about sort of mid-series wobbles and things like that, do you feel that going forward now the players will have that sort of freedom to go and express themselves again and push on?
Well, I think freedom in Test cricket is quite a strange thing. There's always a huge amount of pressure when you're playing. I don't think you don't look like that. You're so desperate to succeed. You're desperate to perform for yourself and for England. So I don't think that will happen. I think obviously when we came this week, we knew we could do something very special. And in the past we haven't obviously dealt with that as well as we could have done. We didn't play our best game, but we were put under pressure by Australia. I think they should be given a lot of credit the way they played. But we fought extremely hard, especially I thought the first thing was the bat. We knew we had to bat a long period of time to get ourselves back into the game. We'd wanted to bat ourselves a lot longer if we wanted to win the game, but obviously that wasn't going to be the case. But to get past the following one was crucial, and obviously put a lot of overs into their bowlers. So from that point of view, I can't complain how we handled this week. We might not have played our best cricket, but we're proving that we're quite a hard side to beat as well.